She trips on the rug. You're there in 2 seconds, hands out, ready to scoop her up. She stands, she looks at you, and before you've even said her name, her hand swings up and slaps you across the cheek. You freeze. She freezes, just for a second, and then bursts into tears. Maybe your toddler isn't a hitter. Maybe he bites. Maybe she kicks the inside of your knee when you're carrying her through Target. Maybe he headbutts your collarbone the second you sit down on the couch. The behavior changes. The pattern doesn't. It's the same toddler who 15 minutes earlier kissed your face and said, "I love you." It's the same toddler who, in 20 minutes, will climb into your lap and ask for the same book for the 4th time tonight. Most parents read a hit as defiance, or a tantrum, or, on the worst nights, as evidence that they're somehow raising a violent kid. So you do what most of us were taught. You tell her hands are not for hitting. You put her in timeout. You explain again that we don't hit. And nothing changes. Tomorrow, after the next fall, the next no, the next moment you cut the toast wrong, the hand swings up again. Most parents don't realize there's a reason your toddler is hitting you specifically. A reason the babysitter, the teacher, the in-laws all describe your child as such an angel. A reason your toddler saves the worst behavior for the person who loves them most. A toddler who hits the parent they love the most isn't broken and isn't aggressive in the way an older child or an adult is aggressive. They're operating with 2 parts of the brain that are wildly out of sync in a body that doesn't yet have any of the tools their parents take for granted. There are 5 things happening inside your toddler when their hand swings up at you. The first one explains where the hit physically comes from. The last one, the one most parents miss entirely, is the reason your toddler reaches for your hand 30 seconds after the slap. 1. The downstairs brain takes over. Have you ever noticed that your toddler hits in a particular kind of moment? Not when they're calm, not when they're playing happily. The hit almost always comes when something has just gone wrong. They fell, you said no, the cup is the wrong color, the sock has a bump in it. Something tipped them, and the hand came up almost before you knew what was happening. That's not bad behavior. That's a brain doing exactly what a toddler brain is built to do. Dr. Dan Siegel, in his book The Whole Brain Child, calls this flipping the lid. Your toddler has 2 main brain regions running the show. The downstairs brain, the limbic system, the reactive part, is fully online from birth. It handles big emotion, the fight or flight response, the urge to do something now. The upstairs brain, the prefrontal cortex, is the part that pauses, plans, and chooses a different action. The part that says, use your words instead of swinging. The prefrontal cortex isn't fully online until somewhere in the mid-20s. At age 2, it's roughly 25% developed. The downstairs brain has no upstairs break. The hand fires before any other system has a chance to vote. That's not your toddler choosing to hit. That's the only system that was awake. 2, the words can't catch the feeling. Your toddler can ask for milk. They can name colors. They might even narrate what the dog is doing in the living room. So when they hit, parents naturally think, she has the words. Why isn't she using them? Be honest. You've thought it. A 2-year-old has, on average, somewhere between 50 and 300 spoken words. A 3-year-old has maybe 1,000. The internal feeling, the wave of overwhelm, frustration, fear, betrayal, those feelings are running at full adult intensity. The vocabulary is at 3%. The hand is faster than the mouth. It's not even close. By the time a toddler could possibly assemble the sentence, "I'm overwhelmed because the toast was cut wrong and I'm hungry and tired," the hand has already moved. Hitting in toddlerland isn't aggression. It's pre-verbal language that hasn't been replaced yet. It's their first communication tool, a body throwing itself at a problem, and it's the tool they reach for when the words can't keep up. That's not your toddler being mean. That's a small person trying to tell you something the size of an ocean, with a vocabulary the size of a teaspoon. 3. The hit is overflow, not target. Watch a toddler hit closely, and something will catch your eye. They almost never aim. The slap lands on your face, your arm, your collarbone, your leg, wherever you happen to be. Sometimes they hit themselves. Sometimes they hit the wall, the high chair, the dog. This is one of the cleanest signals that what looks like aggression isn't aggression in the adult sense at all. When an older child hits in anger, there's intent. They're trying to hurt someone specific. When a toddler hits, they're discharging. The body is so flooded with emotion it can't contain that the energy has to go somewhere. The hand is the closest exit. That distinction matters. If you read the hit as targeted aggression, you'll respond as if your toddler is choosing violence. If you read it as overflow, you'll respond to what's actually there, a small nervous system that has run out of room. The work isn't to punish the overflow. The work is to slowly, over years, help them build a bigger container. Words, a pause, a breath, a different exit. None of that arrives by age 2. All of it arrives by age 6, 7, 8, if the foundation is laid now. 4. The love offload. This is the part that hurts the most. The babysitter texts you a photo. He was an angel. The grandparents take him for the weekend and report back that he ate everything, slept through the night, never once melted down. Daycare drop-off is hard, but the teacher says the second you leave, he's fine. He plays, he laughs, he shares. You walk in the door, he sees your face, and the hitting starts. Most parents read this as evidence that they're failing. The opposite is true. Edward Tronick, the developmental psychologist who designed the famous still face experiment at Harvard, spent decades studying how infants and toddlers regulate emotion in the presence of their primary attachment figure. His research, first published in 1978 in the Journal of the American Academy of Child Psychiatry, found something almost every parent will recognize. Babies and toddlers protest most loudly, most physically, and most chaotically with the person they're most attached to. The reason is that the attachment figure is the only person safe enough for the dam to break with. Think about that for a second. With the babysitter, your toddler is performing. They're holding it together. They're being careful. The minute they see you, the body says, finally, my safe person is here. I can let go now. The hit isn't a sign you've failed. It's a sign you've succeeded. They've built a nervous system that knows exactly where it can fall apart. 5. The reach back. This is the one most parents miss, and the one that closes the loop on the question we started with. Pay attention next time, just for 30 seconds after a hit. She'll cry harder than you do. She'll look up. She'll reach. Mama, hold you. A small hand will come back to your face, sometimes to the exact spot it just hit, like it's checking. The toddler who slapped you 60 seconds ago is now climbing into your lap and asking you to read Goodnight Moon for the 4th time. That reach is the thing. the same nervous system that can't yet hold the wave of feeling, that's still the one that knows in its bones where home is. The hit and the reach are the same loop. The overflow happens, and then the body comes home. This is what Dr. Siegel describes as rupture and repair, and it's the rhythm secure attachment is built from, not the absence of the hit, the reach that comes after. If you respond to the hit with calm, I won't let you hit me, I'm right here when you're ready, and you let her come back without making her grovel for forgiveness, you teach her something her downstairs brain will not learn any other way. That feelings don't break love. That she can lose her grip and still have you. So when she trips on the rug and the hand swings up and your cheek stings, here's what you're actually witnessing. A small person with a quarter of a brain online, a vocabulary that can't carry the feeling, a nervous system that has flooded and overflowed and reached for the closest exit, and a heart that has chosen you, specifically, deliberately, every single time, as the one safe place to fall apart. The hitting will stop. Most toddlers move out of physical aggression somewhere between 3 and 4, as the upstairs brain comes online and language catches up. Some take longer. If hitting is severe, frequent, or doesn't taper through the preschool years, it's worth a conversation with your pediatrician. Not because something is wrong with your child, but because every child deserves the right support for the brain they're growing. But for tonight, for the swing that just landed on your cheek, your toddler isn't hurting you. She's handing you the rawest version of herself she has, and trusting that you'll still be there. That's not a problem to fix. That's a child who knows where home is. And the hand that hit your face is the same one that will, in just a moment, reach up and ask to be held.